first we're gonna do is just recap. I'm gonna recap my trades that I took today. So currently I'm up $1,509. Um, and I'm happy to show you so you guys know it's legit. New window. Okay. So I was up 1,509, but then I actually tried to intentionally lose money just because I'm doing another evaluation account and I can't make more than $1,500. So I tried to intentionally uh, lose the money so that I'm under $1,500. I'll show you. As you can see, this is my trading account. I'm up 1499.02. I was up 1509, but that's just because I needed it to be under $1,500. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. All right, move on. We'll go over the trades that I took today. We took 3. I don't think I called this trade. Oh, maybe I did. I don't think I called this trade. I took that myself for fun, but I didn't call it. Okay. First trade, the one that made me $1,500. Now, it could have. I honestly was planning for this trade to go at least up to here. This is a massive move. This is 250 tick move, basically. Yeah, 250 ticks, and okay, this is what the trade originally looked like. So this is a 1.73. Originally, it was this, which is a 3.5, basically, or it was somewhere in somewhere in here. 3, a 1 to 3. When I say 1 to 3, what I'm talking about, I got to make sure that this is making sense for you guys that are brand new. I'm not jumping ahead of myself. I took this trade. The reason why I took this trade was honestly, the biggest reason was because it hit a demand zone. So here on our 5-minute, we can see in one of my training videos that I did, I talked about the idea of you need to be able to figure out what the story is telling us. So we just had this massive push down to the downside. Now price needs to retrace. Okay. Some people would call this like a bearish flag where price pushes down and it kind of consolidates in this area, and then it pushes down and then it consolidates and then this pushes down. Some people call that like a bear. That's like a flag. So if you kind of think about it like this, sometimes you can see price do this. It pushes up and then almost like kind of like creates a flag, like kind of comes down a little bit, kind of like this, kind of consolidates within this area, and then it'll push back up. So if you look here, it pushes down, kind of consolidates in this area, and then pushes down. So it's like saying it's kind of like creating a flag. That's called a bullish flag. The one I just did. And then yeah, this is a bearish flag basically. So as you can see, price can't just plummet straight to the bottom. Now it can, depending on like news and different things like that, but we're not trading news, and I don't think there's any news this week at all. So price needs to retrace. It can't just shoot straight down. It needs to retrace before it can continue back down. So once we started getting a little bit of, bullish, might have this open on my other computer. Once we start getting a bit of wicks here, some really big wicks, we just had some massive moves. Look at this massive candle, and then it slows down, smaller body, and then massive wick with a green candle. This immediately, what is the story saying? The story is saying sellers came in hard, really strong. Buyers, were trying to step in, couldn't step in. Then buyers come in, couldn't step in, and if you look here, this is still a hammer. So this is called a hammer candle, basically. Um, there's some other things you can call it as well, but I'm not too much into the technical, so don't take my word for that. But I'm pretty sure that's called a hammer candle. But basically, don't worry about the names of things. What matters is what is the story saying? What is being communicated right now? in the markets. So what this is communicating to me is it comes down, this tries to push up. Buyers at this level are trying to come up. They're really working hard to come up, but sellers were stronger. Why? Look at how big this top wick is. Look how big these wicks are. Again, then sellers try to come in, buyers say nope, and they stop it there. But there's not a trade for me right here, so I didn't get into any trade. But then sellers come in strong again, okay? And then they come in strong, even stronger. But then what happens? We get a small candle, a really small body, not huge wicks. You know, we got a little bit more buying power in this candle than selling power. And then look at what we have here. Sellers tried to come in, buyers said, nope, we're pushing you back up. And then this candle comes in and confirms it. Buyers are trying to gain control. And then it happens again. And so this is kind of showing me a reversal pattern. We come down again and we break these highs. So we have a low here. We break, we come up, we break the highs, come back down, break the highs again. This is now confirming to me that buyers are more in control right now, just right now. It doesn't mean long term they're in control. It just means for right now. Other thing that I'm keeping in mind is I understand that people are kind of really wanting to sell right now, right? I think there's some gaps, some major gaps down here. Yeah, if you look, there's some massive imbalance. What does that mean? Is look, it's a bunch of green candles. It's all the same color candles. So a balance, I've shared in our training before, a balance is where price is kind of bouncing between two levels, right? It's balanced. It's not really breaking out. It's not really pushing very hard in any direction. So for example, we have a balance here. I don't know why my thing does this. Okay, we have a balance there. We've got a, you know, I mean, we could even just say there's a balance there overall. Price goes up, comes down to the halfway point, up, down, break, it comes to the halfway point, comes down, up. So that's a balanced area. But this area here is not a balance. It's an imbalance. Why? Because there's no sellers. It's a bunch of buyers. And what tends to happen is when you get a imbalance like this, price wants to fill the imbalance. Price wants to come down and fill it. So look what price is doing currently. Right now, I'd be looking more for sells than I would buys at the moment. But the reason why I was looking for buys is because I knew that's where the current market condition was. And we just had a big push down, prices wanting to what? Fill this imbalance. We got a balance here. We've got a balance here. But then we've got a massive imbalance here. Oh, we'll just use that. And we've got another imbalance here. So price is starting to creep up, fill this imbalance, And then I get in here because one of my entry models is once price was in this area, this is what some people call an order block. I don't really call it an order block. I like to keep things simple and not overcomplicate it. Well, what is price telling us in this area? Right now, price is telling us that it tried to come down. Buyers kicked in hard, right? Why? There's a big wick right here. I'll move this out of the way so you can see. There's a big wick on this candle. And then this here, this candle, look how strong of a push this was. I mean, this is a big move. We're talking 50 tick move in one candle. And it keeps going. We have another strong candle. Now, does it slow down? Yes, but it doesn't surprise me that it slowed down because we came to a balance. You remember, price wants to fill the imbalance. And once it comes to a balance, these areas price can reject. It can kind of bounce off these areas where the balances are. And so usually when I'm looking for a take profit, I'm looking, or certain levels, I'm looking at the balance, I'm looking at the imbalances. Where did I put my TP? I put my TP at the top of this balance here, very top of this balance, including the wicks. That's where I targeted my TP. And what happened? That's where I got out. And what happened? Price started to go down. Now, could it push through? Yes, and that I was expecting it to. Why? Because I expected if it got to this level, it's probably going to want to fill this imbalance area. So, going up to this, but it bounced at this area. I was correct, wasn't I? It literally had a red candle here. It bounced down for a little bit. It could have bounced all the way back down. And so that was a great take profit level that I was aiming for, um, which is good. And then, this here, once again, once you get to this area, this would be considered a balance area, right? So here, look at what we got. We got a balance in this level. What does price do? It comes up, bounces off that balance. What does price do over here? Now I would probably pull this balance down just a tad for the bottom of this green candle wick. When we come down here, look how close it gets. It doesn't have to touch, but it gets close to that level. That if I saw this candle with this kind of structure here, I would be considering getting out of the trade for sure if I was still in it. And then what happens? Massive rejection to the downside. So imbalances and balances are so vital to learn how to play. And many traders trade just the imbalances and balances. This is what they'll do. They'll literally just put lines. As you can see, I have these red lines. They'll put red lines here. And on these red lines, they'll just trade from red line to red line. Why? I'll show you just to break it down. They call this ranges. So let me break this down for you guys real quick. Let's say we put these areas. Let's mark these balances and imbalances out real quick. Now, some people will do it from the body. Some people will do it from the wick. Technically, body's more accurate. It doesn't matter too much. It depends on how conservative you would like to be. But we'll play from the bodies for now, just for example's sake. And then we've got technically one there, under there. So this is where price is kind of bouncing. Why? Watch. I'm about to show you why. It's not as noticeable in these areas right now, but let's move down to the 1 minute. Let's go back to those areas we just marked out. Look at what price is doing. It's bouncing in this area. Bounce, bounce, bounce. And then there's more of a push down to the downside. Now you can move it up to the wick. Like I said earlier, these would technically be the wicks on the higher time frame. But look at this bouncing movement. We'll keep the body, keep it there. That looks more clean. And this is why you can go down to, this is actually more clean of a setup. This is how I would mark it out here on the 1 minute. And so we'll go back to the 5 minute. So that's the power of going down to smaller time frames to get more accurate levels to understand what's happening. So let me go back to what I was teaching for a moment. So let me clean my chart up a little bit so it doesn't get more confusing. So this is what people would call trading a range. And this is a great way to trade as well. So pretty much what you could do is say, all right, I want to trade the areas that have imbalances where it's just straight prices, prices dropping here. Why? Because like I said earlier, if you're taking notes, this is super important. Price likes to fill the imbalance, right? So it likes to fill it. What did it do? This thing shot up. It filled that imbalance right away. What did it do? It tried to shoot up and fill this imbalance. So what you could do is go into lower time frames, wait for candle closures within those imbalances, right? So we know we can trade this green area and we could trade this green area. And we're looking for smaller moves technically, but I'll use this thing as an example. Let's pretend that we're going to get an entry. So let's say we get an entry here and we maybe put our stops underneath the previous imbalance because we know it can bounce off that. And then we target, the end of the imbalance. That's a 1-to-1 trade. That's a solid trade right there. And so that is a winner already. We waited for the candle close right there. It came back. You could technically play that level, wait for it to come tap that level. And were you in a little bit of drawdown? Yeah. And that's okay. It's okay to be in drawdown. You're not always going to be, perfectly in a trade. This could have lost. It could have won. I know a trader actually, I saw him trade. I was watching him trade this. He traded this level here. He actually got in a bit lower here. I got in before him. I was watching him on YouTube because I was bored. And he just traded an imbalance. That's literally all he did. He waited for price to come. tap him into that imbalance, and he got in. Another way to do that is wait for price to come down. Wait, what am I doing? Price to come down, right? It creates this wick, price comes down, and then you could put a limit order right above this wick. Because if price is going to come take this previous wick here, this previous wick, and go a little bit higher than that wick, you put an order right here. I'll show you. Put an order right there, and then wait for this candle to come down, and then wait for this candle to come up and push through, because there's a good chance that if price breaks the highs of this candle, it's going to follow through and fill this imbalance. It's not going to want to play and just hang around in this area and then come back down. Like, if it's going to come back into this imbalance, there's a really high chance that's going to fill this imbalance. So that's some really, honestly, really helpful knowledge and stuff that, people almost force people to pay for just to have. And it's not anything crazy, but it's very, very powerful to use in your trading, which is good. Imbalances and balances. So the imbalance, once again, is the straight shots. The balances is when price is bouncing. It's balanced out, right? We want to get in when price is not balanced. If price is balanced, we're consolidating. Consolidating is a lot harder to make money in than when price, like, how good would it be if I got into a sell up here off this imbalance? I would much rather be in that where it just shoots straight down to my take profit. For example, I got into this trade here. What happened? We have a flag again, a bearish flag. Price pushes down, it kind of plays around in this area, and then I got into a sell here, and price immediately hit my TP. I mean, it was almost instant, and I could have got even way more money and shot further down. Had some runners, but I was just aiming for about 50 ticks. I think it was a 1-to-1. That was another winner. I think I walked away from the trade as well. I just placed it and walked away. I didn't realize it won. So, yeah, I hope this is making sense so far. I hope this is helpful. I know you guys might be busy, so you might not be able to ask questions, which is cool. But if you have some questions, let me know, and I can try to help you out if this is confusing, because I don't want this to be confusing. Okay, so that was that trade. Also, feel free to chuck questions in the chat, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys may have. Sweet. So that's pretty straightforward. My entry, once again, my bias was long, just because I knew price needed to come back. I like targeting also this VWAP. Price tends to like to bounce off the VWAP. It doesn't really like to be away from it for very long. And we've been away for a little bit. So I was thinking, there could be a chance that it wants to come back up to VWAP. That's another confluence for a sell. Like, this would have been a great sell up here. I wasn't paying attention to it. I think I had to go get my daughter. Yeah, I think I was just celebrating the win. I was posting it all over Instagram, so I wasn't looking at the charts. But this would have been a great sell as well. Why? We have a balance in this area, and it's touching VWAP. Two great confluences that price could drop, and it did. It plummeted. And overall, we're going down. That's the thing we got to keep in mind. We're going down. There's a lot of sellers in this market, but remember, price, you can make money by the retracements. You can make money by the main legs as well, where it's going down. Right now, price is retracing at the moment. Could we be looking for sells? Let's see. I mean, right now is a great opportunity to look for sells. Why? We have this strong push down. I'm going to go ahead and have a look, but I wouldn't get into a sell. I'd be looking for buys right now. So I'd be getting in a buy. Let's see how this plays. Be getting a buy there. Potentially. Hold on. Let me see what I've got. For a small scalp, like, this is a great play. I'm in. So I would be looking for something like that. And this is a small loss. Like, this is worth it. It might hit stop loss, and that's okay. It might want to stop pushing up. But I would be looking for buys right now. Um, and why we've breaking above this imbalance. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, this balance. Have a look. We got a balance here. Now, realistically, I could put my thing a bit smaller. It's just my trading. I mean, bigger. So like my stop loss realistically should probably be somewhere in here. And aiming for something a bit bigger is probably somewhere in there. But I like this trade better. We'll go to the 50 ticks, and we'll put this about 30, somewhere in there. Let's see if it wins. We really need this balance broken, right? We need a strong push through this balance. That's why price is slowing down. Price is slowing down at the moment. Why? We're in a balance. So we need this balance broken. There's the break. That's a strong push. Let's see if we get the W. Okay, it's coming back down underneath. It's all right. Let me have a look at this again. No, I like it. I like this trade. This is a great trade. If it's a loser, it's a loser. But this is a great trade. This is a very good trade. Let's see. I'm looking for longs because look how strong this candle closed. And we've already kind of tapped above. Now this is the dangerous thing. Okay, I'll be real. This is a bit of a risky play. It is a bit riskier. The reason why is because you could get a fake out. Price could come above like it is now and fake us out and slam down. But I like this trade. I think it's good just because we have a really strong imbalance right now. This could want to fill. The only risk is we could have a fake out and it come back down, but I'm very confident in this. I think this will hit TP. And I'm doing this live. Like, I can't make this up. I literally cannot make this up. Let's see. We really need a good push here. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about is the dangerous side of this is a fake out where a lot of people right now might be looking for buys, right? So a lot of people might be going, okay, we're looking for buys here. Let's see what the 3 minute. Oh, we got a fairly good strong. This could come back here, touch the top of this white box and then shoot up. It could. It may not, but it could. It could come back down, retrace at this level here, and then shoot back up. Let's see. If it breaks this box, I'm going to extend this just a tad. I like this trade. I still like this trade. It's a great trade, actually. It's a very good trade. We'll see if it plays. Might extend this. I'm going to extend it just a bit. Yeah, we'll play on 1-to-1, 50-50. If it breaks this box, I wouldn't be pumped. This is, yeah. We'll see how this candle closes on this 3 minute. If it breaks below this box, I wouldn't be concerned. I still really like this trade. But it would make me manage the trade. So I would be looking at, okay, am I happy with my stop stop loss? Am I happy with how this trade is playing out? So far, to be honest, I like it. I think this is a great trade. Even if it comes in drawdown a little bit, I think this is a solid trade. I'm very confident that it's going to hit our 50 ticks. and you got to, or take profit. And you've got to be confident in your trading. When you get into trades, you got to be able to see a trade and execute. What did I do? I literally just looked at it for 2 seconds and saw a trade opportunity. Now, is that always going to happen? No. Now, this candle opening high, let's see what the 5 minutes up to. We really need this candle to break above this candle here. Break it. Break it. That's a pretty good break. Yeah, that's a pretty good break. I would have liked a little bit more of a break. Like probably up to, nah, we should be good. This should be a win. This is going to win. We should be good. We'll wait it out. I know this is a training, but I want you guys to see how I would take a trade live too. So what I'm looking for is closures, right? I need these candles to close outside this box. Not having a bottom wick here is a bit concerning. Why? Because when you look at most of these candles, what do they have? A top and bottom wick. So, yeah, see, there we go. That is a little bit concerning. Most of these candles have tops and bottom wicks. So probability-wise would say that there's a good chance this candle might come down to get a little bit of a wick at some point. It did break these highs, which is good. The other concern would be, is it grabbing some liquidity to push back down? To push back down into our stop loss. Now, I still like it. I mean, if it hits our stops, that's okay. That's okay. This is a solid trade. I really do need, one thing where we might be in a little bit of trouble is I played this off the 3-minute closure. So you see how we have this 3-minute closure here. The 5-minute did not close above this box. So we could end up pushing down. One way to save myself, which I'm taking the risk. One way to save myself from getting in trouble or getting stopped out, is going to break even before this candle flip, knowing that the 5-minute didn't close above. So that's how I would have managed it. Right now I've ended up extending my stop loss a little bit, but price might want to come down, break this candle low before it continues back up to those highs. This has happened to me plenty of times where, like, how far away are we from her take profit? We're literally like 3 ticks, which is crazy. 3 ticks from it being a win. Now, this could push back up. Really, let's just watch this 5-minute candle closure. We would like this candle closure to be above this 50% level. So let's see. We want this candle to close above this 50% level. If this candle closes above this 50% level, I still feel really good about this trade. If it doesn't, I would be a little concerned. It is coming down below here, but we're getting some bounces. But you remember, guys, price has to retrace before it can continue back up. It needs to move, retrace, move, retrace. This trade's taking a bit longer than usual. I mean, gosh, we were close. We were so close. That doesn't look great. We have a candle closure below the 50%. At this point, it could be 50-50, right? It could hit our take profit. It could hit our stop loss. I do like that we have a little bit of a bottom wick here and we're pushing up pretty strong. If we can push back above this box, we're looking pretty good. So I'm just trying to help you guys see what I'm thinking. That's all that I'm doing at the moment. I hope this is actually helpful, and Yeah, but um, just keep watching. The reason why I extended my stop loss is because um, here, if we go down to a smaller time frame, we've got, some balance here and a strong push. So price might want to bounce off that balance. You see that? And it did. Bounce off this balance. It's come up a little bit. We just got to hope that it's not going to break this balance. You know, I could put my stop loss a bit tighter to risk less money. That's good, but I extended it a little bit more to give price some breathing room. Because as you can see, here we did break above this balance and then we came back into it, and it could end up pushing down. I doubt it. I don't think it will, but I'm giving it that space for if it wanted to come below this balance a little bit before pushing up, it could. That's the only reason why I moved my stop a bit further. Some traders would be like, "Don't move your stop." Well, my hard stop is 50 ticks. I'm not going to move it any further than 50 ticks. Now, good 3-minute closure there. We want to bounce off this 50% level here. We need this bounce. We need it to tap this, bounce up. Look at that bounce. We really need to break the highs here. We need this candle highs to be broken. If this candle highs are broken, that could potentially be a re-entry. There we go. You could get another entry here. Now it's just a waiting game. Hopefully it doesn't just wick us. At this point, if I'm being real, probably would want to move stops to break even at this point, because if it's going to hit TP, it's most likely going to do it on this candle. Okay, did break the candle highs. Can we get that last push? There we go. That's a win, guys. Live. Can't make this up. Can't make this up. So let's recap that real quick. Guys, did I use some magic formula? Did I like use some indicator to tell me when to buy, when to sell? No. Like all I did was I looked at the balances and the imbalances. There is more to trading and experience obviously that I have, but I'm trying to simplify this for you guys. So I'm trying to get that experience and all that thrown out the window to go, okay, well, what is price doing right now? And try to make it really simple so that you guys can see that you can actually make money by keeping things very, very simple. Just keeping it as simple as you can. I'm gonna teach you guys something that's really powerful. Gosh, I'm cold. I'm like shaking in my office. I need like a heater or something. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you something else that is really helpful, like very helpful. And that is the power of consolidation. I don't think I really talked about this. I think I may have like touched on it briefly, but I don't think I touched on it much. All right. So yes, this is called a balance, but it's also called consolidation. If you haven't caught on to that yet, right? It's called consolidation. And so if we move down to an even smaller time frame, this is why I put my stops below and above. This is consolidating, right? So it's bouncing between two areas. Gosh, it's cold in my office. Let's change this color. Oh, background to blue. It's bouncing between this area. Now, this is what's really cool. And it doesn't work all the time. You gotta really kind of watch it, manage it a little bit, or learn it, really is what I'm trying to say. So you guys, that's why I said stop should be break even, because there's a good chance if this candle didn't hit, that price would come back down to this area. And right now it's kind of consolidating, so it could reverse back down. But that was a perfect play. I mean, perfect entry, perfect exit. It could continue up, but yeah, that was just playing it safe. But we got it on that candle anyways. So sorry, going back to this, we consolidated here. This is really cool, like actually really cool. So if you can back test it, like actually go into charts and try to take these trades as practice for yourself. But when you see price consolidating in an area for a little while, now we're on a 1 minute, so I wouldn't use this on the 1 minute. I would use this on a higher time frame potentially, but I'm using this as a 1 minute because it looks a bit cleaner. Oftentimes, when price breaks out of consolidation, price tends to move. Price tends to move once it breaks out of consolidation the same distance it was consolidating in. So look, it broke out of consolidation. What did it do? It moved the same distance. Now it ended up moving further, but it usually moves at least the same distance as the area it's consolidating. Let's find some examples. Now, does this happen all the time? No, like even with my trading, this doesn't work out every single time. And look, what did I call? We want to get into break even because there's a chance it could come back down and retest these areas. Usually it wants to test lower. But that was a win. We got that win. And look, it's testing this balance right now. Let's see if it breaks it. If it breaks the balance, we could be looking for potential sells. If it bounces off this balance, what could we be looking for? We could be looking for buys and targeting. This isn't a trade I would get in, by the way, but I'm just using it as an example. This is a bad trade. There's not enough room. There's not really. You could be targeting the highs up here, realistically. But yeah, I mean, yeah, actually you could. There's no top wick there on this 5 minute. Let's see what this 15 minute. No top wick on the 15 minute. This could shoot right back up, guys. This could be a buy here. If you got a bounce off that, yeah, if we can get this bounce here, you'd be kind of targeting this area here. This is a great play. The only thing I don't like about this, the only thing that I'm not a fan of, let's move this out of the way, is we've got some open range here. So price could shoot down dramatically. I would have a tight stop somewhere like this. I need it to bounce now, basically. Let's see what the 4 minute looks like. Yeah. I would want it to bounce off this. If it doesn't bounce, I mean, we could run. That's too big. I need to bounce, basically. I just needed to bounce here. If we were going to look for a play like this. And that's kind of hoping that this 15 minute will fill a top wick. It might not. It's moved so much. I wouldn't really like this play too much because, I mean, look, it's moved 70 ticks. I wouldn't get in this, to be honest. It could play out the way I'm talking right now, but I wouldn't get in this. It's too risky. It's moved too far. This one candle's moved too far, so there's a good chance it's just going to be a candle without a top wick. Let's see. So really, you'd be looking for sells more than buys at this point. If price can break below this balance like it is now. So right now, I probably would, depending on it'd probably be safer to wait for this candle closure. But at this point, I probably would be looking for sells. Yeah. Anyways, I keep getting distracted. I'm a trader, so I just like looking at the live markets and seeing how I do, you know. But yeah, sells look good right now. To fill, I would be targeting for sells right now. I would probably. This is a dangerous play. I wouldn't take it, but honestly, it's a great play if it works out. Something like that. That's what I would be looking at. Some sort of play like that. And that's a 1 to 3.25. Yeah. The reason why I don't like this play as much, even though I think this is a good play, is because you kind of need your stops to be up here. That's really neat, and it's too big. It's too big. I'm confident price will probably get to this level, but you need stops up here. There's a chance that, or that's pretty good. That's not bad. That's decent. That's decent. I would probably look at something like that. If I was gonna get in this, I'd probably do that. We can come back to it and see if it plays out. Let's just see this candle closure real quick. So we got a 4-minute closing in 5 seconds. We've got a 5-minute that just opened. This looks clean. This looks great, guys. This is a good play. I like this play. This might drop. Ideally, we would want this thing to fall. Probably would target for more conservative. I would wait for TP1 to be there. So I'd probably go break even for sure once price gets here. And if it ends up tapping me out, I break even, it taps me out. Just because there's a level here, you see that big bounce, there's a big strong bounce there. So price could come to this level, bounce, and come back up. So I'd probably take some partials there. That's probably what I would look at. Let's see. I mean, really, that there could be a final TP. Do a 1-to-1. Bring this down a little bit. Do a 1-to-1. That could be a great play. Something like that. We'll come back to it. We'll see if it works. All right, I want to go back to the consolidation. We'll come back, see if that played out. Who knows? All right, let's try to find some consolidation for a sec. Just so I can give you a good example. We'll wrap this up soon. Hopefully this helped you guys. No, this is basically, let's try EU. This kind of just moves in. It's been very trendy lately. I want to see some big consolidation. I think EU consolidates quite a bit. Thanks, guys, for staying with me so long. I hope this isn't boring you to death and it's actually been valuable for you. My goal, honestly, my goal in trading is to build actual traders. Like, this is still early beginnings. You know, we only have like 2 to 10 people sometimes join these lives, which is fine. But at the end of the day, my goal is to be able to prove that I can actually be a teacher that can teach trading, teach people how to trade well, and make actual profitable traders. There's too many teachers out there that don't build actual profitable traders. So I want to actually build successful traders. So that's why I do this. But the biggest thing though is if you're gonna, like, don't waste time doing this. This is what I'm gonna be a trader or a teacher that teaches people trading. And I'm going to be honest, you know, I'm not just going to be doing this to try to get you guys to pay me to teach you. I'm doing it because I want to build real traders. And so that means I'm going to be brutally honest sometimes and just say it how it is. But I would encourage you, if this is something you want to get into, don't waste your time. And what I mean by that is don't waste your time doing this, just dabbling. Like, if you're going to get into this, be all in. Whenever you see me on, get on. What, you know, when I'm doing call outs, watch how I'm doing these call outs and learn from them, ask questions, like, take advantage of me, especially while I'm doing this for free, you know, like, do whatever you can. Just don't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, be all in, because this is a skill. It's kind of like, you know, most traders wouldn't say this, but it's like the NBA. Not everyone is an NBA player. Now, I'm not saying like I'm elite or anything like an NBA player or whatever, but I'm saying the point is you have to build that skill. Trading is a skill, and you got to build that skill. And if you're planning to just kind of like show up here and there, it's kind of like going to practice here and there. You're not going to get better. You actually have to show up day in, day out, see what the market's doing, really ask questions, be inquisitive, try to make mistakes and learn from them. Don't just make a mistake and go, I don't know what happened. You may not know, but throw it in the Discord. Ask a question. Hey, Mike, why did this end up going this way, or why did this not work out? What could I have done better? Like actually put the work in. Try to take advantage of this, especially while this is humble beginnings. Like this is literally like I don't have a massive audience. I think we have maybe like 50 people right now in our chat in our Discord. And so while we have 50 people, I can actually tune in more and help people. But this will grow over time, and it'll be a lot harder for me to be able to give one-on-one lessons or do small group lessons and answer every single question. So definitely take advantage of it. But what I would encourage you is you will be wasting your time if you're not going to jump, all in. You're just wasting your time. You won't actually improve. That's just the hard truth, unfortunately. So, anyways, um, this here is technically consolidation. Now, I would prefer to have a couple more bounces. Um, on the top level, there's only one bounce here. Let's see if we can find something that's a bit better. It's funny that like when you're looking for consolidation, it's harder to find, but then when you're trading, it's like there all the time. Um, Maybe gold would be better. Yeah, gold usually respects this a lot. Gold respects this a lot. I know some traders that really use this a lot. So we've got a couple bounces here, roughly to the downside, couple bounces to the upside. That's some consolidation, and what we'll do is we'll do it from body to body this time, and then we'll also do it from wick to wick, see what it does. But you go ahead and mark it out like that, and you wait for a break, a strong break, and look what it did. Went straight down to that level. Like this thing is so powerful. It usually travels the same distance that it consolidated in. Why? You got to think of consolidation like it's loading up. It's getting ready for a big move. When price is just going up and down in a general area, it's looking for a big move, a big move. So even if wouldn't be ideal, but you could have still gotten in here. Let's see. Something like, 35 pips, 30 pips, and aim for, this would be a bit harder trade to take, but this would be a bit harder to take. The chance of you actually getting this to work out, this would probably become more of a break-even trade, to be honest. But you're going to have break-even trades. So break-even trades, can I tell you? Break-even trades, if you're taking notes, write this down. Break-even trades are winning trades. I don't care what you say or what people say. Break-even trades are winning trades. That is you using good risk management. That is you sticking to a plan. If you get into a trade like this, for instance, you get into a trade like this, right? And you get in because on the close of this big red candle. Could it continue down with the big red candle? Yeah, it could. But what did it do? It retested. Now, this is also a way to play it. You could play it off of the close of the candle, or you could play it off of the retest. Retest would have been better here, like way better. But just for example's sake, let's just say we get in on the close of the candle. We get in the close of the candle, and it goes into drawdown, and then it comes back into take profit, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is gonna hit my TP, and for instance, technically, it would be a miracle if it did, but it doesn't. It barely misses, and that happens to me all the time as well. It's so annoying. But then you hold, and you don't bring your stops to break even because you're like, oh, we're so close. It might come back up a little bit and then go back down to TP. Like sometimes it's better just close, like bring your stops to break even and get a better entry. Like literally get a better entry. What do we have here, guys? Look, this is literally a balance. And what does price do? Let's go to let's mark this balance up. So we got a balance here. What's happening? Price is selling hard, right? Price is selling hard. Got a balance there. Let's go ahead and delete this blue box. I kind of like the blue box. Let's put a line there. Let's delete this blue box as well. So right now, what is our bias? Our bias is sells because why we broke that consolidation, really strong move to the downside, right? What is price telling us? Sellers are in control. Buyers are struggling, right? We have a flag here, down, and a flag. And we kind of have another flag here. Look at this flag. I wish they updated this drawing tool because it is awful to use. Where is it at? It's brush tool. It like doesn't move in a straight line. Look at that. I'll move in a oh, now it does. It's just really hard to use. So we got oh, you can't even see that. Hold on. We're gonna wrap up soon. We'll finish up very soon. Can I not edit this brush? I don't use this brush often. Okay, let's change the color then. I don't know how to use the brush. I use Canva usually when I'm explaining. Okay, we have a downside flag and then another flag. And then what do we have here? Flag. Downward flag again. Let's see if I can change the color. Yeah, I can. Look at that flag. And then pushes right back down. So, which is another confirmation for us to go, okay, yeah, price is wanting to kind of maybe continue down. But let's get back to this box. All right, we're on the 1 hour here. We're looking at this 1 hour chart. Now we have a zone. We have an area of interest. Let's move to the 1 minute. Now price does something a bit weird. It's a little choppy there for some reason. Let's move to the let's move. I like the 3 minute. I like trading 3 minute and 5 minute. You can kind of do what you want, but that's what I like to do. I need to move back to the 1 hour so I can figure out where this price is. So we are 25th of April. Let's go to 3 minute. You know what? Let's just replay it. Okay. There we go. Look at that flag. How beautiful is that? So then we know that there's a balance up here, right? And so why? Because there's massive imbalance. Look at this imbalance. Like what's going to happen when price breaks that? You know, people right now, this is such a clean imbalance that people are looking at this. People are going, I want some of that. I want to get in this. Now, this is something you got to be mindful of. If you see something that clean, be wary of it. Okay, don't just go, I'm in. This is an imbalance. I got to get in. No, there's a lot of people wanting to get in. So there could be a chance that price wants to shoot back down before filling that imbalance because everyone's wanting to go there. So there could be a chance people want to just take people's stop losses out and, you know, from going long, take some stop losses out before and filling that imbalance. So let's see. We're going to play this. So we got a balance there. We're going to see what it does. We're going to watch it in this level. So this is what I would be doing at this point. We get a little bit of some weird action there. So personally, I wouldn't get in. Let me take this VWAP off so you guys can see it. Personally, I wouldn't get in on this because it's just created a massive imbalance, a gap, a literal gap in the market. What happens? Price always fills gaps. If you go in previous history and look at gaps, price will always come and fill those gaps. So you can't, even if we scroll back, it's hard to see. Do you see any gaps? No, because really price fills it. Look, there's a gap there. What does it do? Price comes down and fills that gap right there. That really small gap fills. Price does not like to leave gaps open. Now we have a gap here. Now there's a good chance price is going to fill that gap. What does it do? Look at this. This candle Oh wait, is that my drawing or a candle? I think that might be my drawing. But look, price even here next to it shoots down dramatically, fills this gap. Look at wicks come all the way to fill this gap, and then it comes up. Price hates leaving gaps open. Hates leaving gaps open. So once I see that gap, I'm gonna be really hesitant. I'm not getting in any longs right now. I'm gonna wait for the next candle closure. Let's see what it does. So we get a little bit of a bounce there. I'm still hesitant. I'll wait. I'll get one more candle. Okay, what is this telling us, guys? If price is communicating a story, what is the story saying? This story is telling me right now, hey, buyers tried to come, but sellers are saying, heck no, you're not going to go any further up. We got a massive wick here. Sellers are trying to push it down. So I'm going to wait again. What I'd be looking for right now is maybe a candle close below this level here. Somewhere in this level or this level, this halfway point. So we get a strong close here. I would consider, I'm not saying I would consider sells. Put my stops right above that halfway point and really look for a 1 to 2. And that would have hit. That's what I would. I'm not saying I would 100% do it. You know, hindsight's 2020. But that could be a potential trade there, right? Another trade here is getting in there. Why we broke below this level here. So another trade opportunity, something like that. Will it hit? I don't know. I'd probably target a 1 to 1 because price is slowing down. So, I mean, that looks like it hits a 1 to 1. Oh, no, it hasn't hit yet. Let's see if it hits. Yeah, it hit. Look at that. Hit that 1 to 1. I could have brought that up. Anyways, hindsight's 2020. I can't really tell you what I would have done because I'm looking at literally what price is doing. I know the overall direction it's moving anyways, but I'm just trying to give you some ideas of potential trade opportunities I would be looking for. So I hope that was helpful. And we just did a quick 1 hour training session. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, like I said, please chuck it. Yeah, please. I just saw your message, Chris. Yeah, very insightful for me. Slowly making sense, piece by piece. That's great. It's very good. I mean, the goal is to keep this simple as possible. And like I said, keep joining these. If this is something you want to take seriously. Now, I don't know, Chris, if you saw my essentials training or if you not saw it, if you were in my live training, because I don't think I had to re-record my live training. But this is the truth, okay? And I'll finish with this. The truth is this. If you were to look at any sort of billionaires and millionaires in the world, any billionaires, millionaires, how do they make their wealth? It is not necessarily by real estate is a top one for sure. But and business is as well. Now those are two great things. I'm not trying to crap on them. I'm a business owner. One day I want to invest in real estate. So it's not that I'm against those things at all. That is not what I'm saying. And this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. But if you look at billionaires and millionaires, most of them that made their insane wealth, like any sort of insane wealth they made, was from investing like this. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they're in the market like I am, but they're in the market some way. I think it's like 80%, at least 80% of billionaires and millionaires, this is a stat, are in the market in some way. And so, and most of them a lot of them would say they gained a lot of their, a lot of their wealth, a lot of them would say they gained their wealth through the stock market, through the market somehow. And so I would not view this, even if you don't view this as like you want to do this as a full-time job in the future, but you view this as, this is a skill that would be helpful to my future in some way. That's how I would be viewing it. Like to me, this is like a non-negotiable. Like I feel like everybody should learn how to view the market, see the market, the best that they can, and yeah, get some training and learn how the market works. It's so important. This isn't going anywhere. You know, you might lose your job. This is staying. the market's definitely not going anywhere. If anything, the market is growing. We got Bitcoin, we got, crypto. Like what is the next thing? Who knows? Like learning how to view the market, work with the market is to me a non-negotiable. It's something that everybody should definitely invest their energy and time into. But like I said, don't treat it as a hobby. Treat it as something that is going to set you up for your future, and take it seriously, even if you take it seriously for a few months. Um, but yeah, real estate is definitely something that's awesome. It's not that you can't get rich in real estate or can't get rich in um, or wealthy in other areas like business. I'm a business owner at heart. Um, and there are definitely people who have built their wealth off that. What I'm saying though is most people that are millionaires and billionaires, and it's actually a statistic, would say that a lot of their wealth has come from some sort of investment in the market. So just keep that in mind. Like that's something to chew on and just and understand. I mean, look at Warren Buffett. The dude's made his billions off of the market. Um, so yeah. Anyways, I'll leave you guys to it. I hope this was helpful. Please invite some friends, tell some people about it. That would help me out a lot. I just want to try to get this out as much as I can. And yeah, I appreciate you guys' support. And I'll catch you in the next one. I will be posting more training videos as we go. Hopefully, if this is recorded properly, I'll post this one as well, for people. You can go back and rewatch it. And yeah, there's some helpful things. I'm slowly building this Discord up. But yeah, anyways, I'll catch you guys and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.